What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to share with you guys how I was able to make it to Diamond in Apex Legends. In the background is the last couple games I won to put me into Diamond, but I mainly wanted to share some tips that I used myself. First off, I want to say that I got into Apex Legends in the middle of October, so I've been grinding this game for about 2 months now. Getting hooked on this game so late after its launch meant that the Apex community was already a lot better than me. People have been playing this game for 2.5 years now, and I had to learn quickly what works and what doesn't work. What playstyles and legends the top players use, what's the most consistent way to rank up, how can I stop dying in the first fight. I needed to learn fundamentals and stuff that a beginner player can actually understand, and I've put together a list of very simple advice that I was able to immediately implement in my games to rank up. And if this video does good, I'd be happy to make a part 2 with even more advice to help you rank up, so please leave a comment down below telling me what you think about this video. Anyways, let's get into tip number 1. Tip number 1. Improve mechanics by taking lots of fights in pubs. If you find yourself losing a lot of gunfights, then you need to improve your aim and fighting mechanics. Now, this game is incredibly complex, and fights often don't play out exactly the same each game, but there are certain things that remain constant, like high ground is good, and playing around cover is good, or you should try to position yourself to have an angle of attack onto the enemies. Okay, sure, but the thing is there's so many factors that you must take into consideration in order to do those things, such as what kind of terrain or location you're in, what legends you and the enemies are using, what weapons you and the enemies have, etc., etc. So you need to memorize all these variables and act accordingly in the given situation. And really the only way to do that is through repetition and fighting over and over again. You'll start to memorize the layouts of the places you're fighting in and how fights unfold in various circumstances, how to react if they have X, Y, or Z legend. For example, if someone kills you from a very good angle or head glitch position, well, now you know about it and it's unlikely to happen again, or you can use it yourself next game, or you can try to find a flank route to punish anyone who uses that angle in a future game on you. The point I'm getting at is you should feel comfortable fighting and even memorize the layouts of the places of interest and learn how to fight effectively there. After a while, the layouts of areas and how to fight certain legends will be drilled into your head. Memorize what is working for you and what isn't during those pubs, and take that knowledge and mechanics into ranked. Second tip, warm up before you play. This is probably the most simple tip I have, but it's so important. Warm up for about 15 minutes prior to playing your ranked matches. So let's say you've already played a lot of pubs and you're comfortable taking gunfights and you even win most of them. Even then, you still want to make sure you warm up quickly. Whether it's firing range, pubs, or arenas, you want to make sure your fingers are used to the recoil and the aiming of the weapons you like using. Make sure your movement feels good too while you're warming up. And no, you don't need to do crazy movement at all to get into Diamond, trust me. So I'm not even talking about tap strafing or any of that advanced shit. I just mean make sure you're not getting stuck on corners or dead sliding or any of the other awkward movement problems too. And usually after about 15 minutes, I feel ready to hop into ranked. Tip number 3. Use teamwork and play with a team. Another very simple tip is to find a couple people that you can consistently play with and try to avoid solo queuing if possible. While it's possible to win solo queue, and even the games in the background that you're watching are solo queue games, it is without a doubt easier to play when you are on the same page as your teammates and you're used to how your teammates play. If you don't work together as a team, then you will most likely lose. This game is all about teamwork. And most of the time in solo queue, you're going to get people who don't communicate or are bad communicators and say one shot when people aren't actually one shot, or they just don't talk at all. And sometimes there really isn't much you can do to win those kinds of games. So you can limit this happening by finding a few guys that you like playing with and playing ranked with them as much as possible. The final tip I have for you is by far the most important tip in this video. But first, I want to ask, if you like this video, please leave a like. It would mean a lot to me and it helps with the YouTube algorithm.
Hold your shield, hold your shield. Ooh,
Okay,
I almost choked
tip
that.
number 4, planning for the end game.
Let's go.
By far, the most important thing for me that helped me get into Diamond was planning out the end game and setting myself up to win the game, or at least place very high. And as you know, you get a lot more RP for placing high than you get for killing people. You don't need to be killing people the entire game, but you don't want to camp and rat it out either. Instead, you should always be thinking about where and how to move around the map in regards to the final circle location, and only fight enemies along the way if it's safe to fight them. What I would usually do is drop near a beacon, contest the team there, and hopefully kill them. Now I have a little bit of KP. From here, I would scan the beacon to reveal the next circle location and rotate into the next circle as quickly and safely as possible. This is where Valkyrie shines because she can scan the beacon and then use her ult to rotate your team into a safe position in the next circle, effectively doing 2 jobs as 1 legend. And at least for the first 2 to 3 circles, her ult should come back in time for you to repeat this process and rotate again. This strategy usually requires at least 1 legend who's good at securing a spot once you've already rotated there. So people like Caustic, Gibby, hell, even Watson if you want. You just gotta make sure you can safely hold your position until you are able to rotate again. And there are other movement legends that could work too, such as Wraith, Ashe, Pathfinder, but in my opinion, Valk does this job the best, and that's why I mained her to get into Diamond. So essentially, remember that winning games or placing high will rank you up much faster than getting a lot of kills. You don't have to take every fight possible, and in fact, it's best to avoid fights unless you know you have the advantage and are sure that you aren't gonna get third-partied.
For that team.
So there we have it. Those are the tips that I use to make it into Diamond. I think they're the basic fundamentals of playing this game, so they are very simple but effective. And if you apply these tips to your gameplay, I'm sure you can make it into Diamond too. And you guys should stick around till the end of the video because you will see the most fitting way I could ever make it into Diamond is just getting absolutely bamboozled so hard by a Mirage. So stick around and tell me what you think about that last clip. Alright guys, happy holidays. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.
Recharging shields.
Well spotted. Ring countdown.
Giving my shields a recharge.
Good work. We're inside the next ring.
Someone's ziplining close to us.
I am taking fire, friends.
Got a live one out there.
I'm out of energy ammo. Contact. Cancel that. Hostile close.
We're pretty safe inside. I mean, we just gotta be careful about the windows here.
We'll find something here.
Here. Okay. Yeah, just watch if they try to shoot through the window.
Drop the plane.
We should be fine.
Hostile right here.
Someone's on my trap downstairs. By that door.
Give him a big shot.
Let's go to this area.
Watch this door.
Tango near me.
Introducing a new variable.
Belk knocked.
Down to Contact with
Nice.
reloading. That was repairing my damages. Contact with target over there.
Hostile spotted.
10 seconds remaining. Beware. I've had a very Arc started. Throwing
Belk broken. Velk's flesh.
fire. Shields reloading. Throwing thermite grenade.
Reloading. That was the last attention.
Opening fire on the enemy.
Just got promoted to kill.
Excellent. Could not have asked for a better outcome.
Good game, boys.
I've ascended to the rank
Let's go.